Hi, Kevin Henry, the Group Editorial Director for UBM Medica's Dental Division, and I'm on a Google Hangout today with Dr. Michael Landry and Mary Ann Landry. They have a practice in Houston, Texas. And guys, would you all tell me a little bit about your practice and kind of the setup of it?
Absolutely. I've been practicing in Houston for almost 34 years. And periodically, I find that you have to reinvent yourself. And about 10 years ago, the lease was up in one spot. It was time to move to the next. And so we decided, let's not only move, but let's make it different. Let's make it different than what it was. And that's when we started consultants in dental aesthetics. We started adding value-added services, making it the Ritz-Carlton of dentistry, as you can say. There's people who go to the Holiday Inn, there's people who go to the Ritz-Carlton. And both are okay. But we want to attract those people that want to come to the Ritz-Carlton because that's the services we provide.
Additionally, when Dr. Landry, my husband, started the move to this practice, that's when I became involved in the dental practice. Prior to that, I had a background in aviation, and so we took my experience in customer service, client service skills, and we honed that in, and I serve as the executive director for consultants in dental aesthetics and have a very active role in the practice as far as being visionary, and I also deal with the marketing specifically for our team.
You mentioned being the Ritz-Carlton versus the Holiday Inn. What sets your practice apart and gives it that extra high level of service?
When someone walks in our practice, well, first off, a new patient can expect to be contacted the evening before by the dentist they'll be seeing that day. Just welcoming them to the office and seeing if there's any particular things that we can do to make their appointment go more smoothly. So the doctors actually reach out. When they walk into the office, there's no sign-in desk, there's no sheet for them to sign on their bell to ring, there's not a little sliding glass window that people are hiding behind. The hand comes out and grabs the sign-up slip. But there's a big open window, a big area where the concierge, we call them the concierge, not the receptionist, will stand up and greet them, welcome them, offer them a beverage, whether it be coffee, tea, wine, something to make them more relaxed and comfortable. And then after that, we give them a welcome gift. We're going to take them on a tour of the office where they'll be introduced to every person along the way. And along that way, every person is going to stop and meet them because that patient is the most important person in that office at that time. Once they've made it to their treatment suite, they're interviewed, the doctor will come in and just get to know them. Not talk about teeth, but let's just talk about who you are. What do you do in this world? To give us a better sense about how we can better serve them. Because that's what it's all about, is how can we serve you? All the treatments start with lip conditioner, because how many times do you go to the dentist and you get your lips all stretched out, they get dry, they get cracked? We're going to give you some lip conditioner at the very beginning. So that will be continually reapplied by the assistant during the procedure so that you can keep your lips fresh and non-cracked. At the end, we're going to give you breath drops and a hot towel and allow you to freshen up. Every place that you go in the office, you're always going to be escorted. All the technologies that we have are the latest and greatest technologies, which I've chosen over a long career to be the ones that are successful. If we don't have a consultant in dental aesthetics, we either can't be got or it shouldn't be got.
In addition to that, really, we're a relationship-based business. We happen to do teeth, but we're really in the business of providing an excellent relationship, and we're in the people business. So we spend countless hours training our team and holding them to standards, holding them accountable. They're in this with us, and one of our roles also is to make them better people as well as make ourselves better people. And we have some ways that we've gone about doing that.
Let's talk a little bit about the Scheduling Institute. I know that we've talked offline and you all have said that it made a big difference in your practice. Talk a little bit about how you discovered it and some of the differences that it has made.
Well, we found the Scheduling Institute approximately in 2010, where I got some marketing from Jay Geyer and the Scheduling Institute that talked about mystery calls. And, we found that all of our team members had certifications and they had to go through certain education in order to be in that responsible position. But we found that the front office or the business team didn't have those types of credentials. They kind of flew by the seat of their pants. And being somebody who believes in measurement, I thought it was important. I was so curious. I'd love to hear what our people are saying on the phones. So I brought
our love not to.
yeah, but I brought that to Dr. Landry's attention, and so I said I really would like to try this. And so we got the mystery call, and they called our office. They recorded our team, which we were very confident. We felt we were doing a good job. And to our dismay, we did not pass that call on a scale of 1 to 5. We maybe got a 1 or a 2-star rating. So we knew we had some work to do. That's where my job became kind of convincing Dr. Landry that this is something that we needed to do, that we couldn't do it all by ourselves. So we bought their telephone training kit, which they had at the time. And we started very small baby steps. But from there, the Scheduling Institute and their impact has made a tremendous difference. And we have elevated our membership to the highest level that they have.
It wasn't until the end of 2012 that I finally, being a slow to start on the person, decided that, okay, this was something I really wanted to get involved with. And that's when we joined the Platinum level of membership. And unfortunately, Platinum didn't last for us very long, because in March of that year, March 1st, we became 5X, which is the highest level of engagement and the highest level of accountability. And in that first year, we really only had about a half year of 5X that first year, because it was in May that we finally got our vision meeting, 5X vision meeting started. And so we had about 6 months of it. 2014 was about the first year that we truly had an entire year.
But in that first year alone, what was our production difference? Do you have?
From in 2013, that first year, we had an 18% growth in 2013 and a 23% growth in new patients. If I go back to a couple of years, typical new patient growth was about 2 to 3% increase each year, and a good year was maybe an 8 to 10% increase in production and collections from the previous year. 2014, which was our first full year of 5X, we had a 25% increase in production and collections and a 36% increase in new patients.
Wow.
We're a fairly productive practice. That year we produced a little bit over $3 million. And for a $3 million practice to increase by 25%, we're not talking taking a practice from $10,000 to $40,000. We're talking about taking a high capacity machine and moving it up to the next level. If we extrapolate to 2015, it looks like we're up, just taking the first quarter and extrapolating it out, it looks like we're up about 23% in the first for 2015 and 24% in new patients over the previous year.
The other thing that the Scheduling Institute has done for us is, we look at it as we're joint business owners. But in addition to that, we're also responsible for a team. And a team is either going to get you there or they're going to hold you back. The same thing for the leadership. And so what the Scheduling Institute does is they've really taken the opportunity to say, we will do business strategies for the business owners. But what they've also done is they have a university where they have team members go to either Atlanta or to Phoenix, where we can provide additional continuing education for them in their specific areas, as well as they hold the team members accountable, which allows us all to be that much more productive. In addition, we're big believers in on-site training, so the Scheduling Institute, if people don't want to travel, they will come to you. So we schedule quarterly trainings for our team. The Ritz-Carlton, that's our model to a certain extent. And I know that everybody has a different type of a practice, but that's the beauty of the Scheduling Institute, is that they have a program that you can make work for you and what your needs are. So as far as that goes, the Ritz-Carlton will provide hundreds of hours to their employees. That's why they have such a good reputation. We're doing the same thing for our team members, because the best investment that you can make is in your people. It's not an expense, it's really a necessary way to move forward and to grow and to maintain high quality people.
And another thing the Scheduling Institute has done is changed my mind, changed my mindset. Why should I retire? I'm 60 years old now, and I'm healthy. I love what I do. I just can't imagine in 5 years just shutting it down and going to the golf course every day. even though that might be fun for the first 2 weeks, after a while it really get kind of boring. And they've stimulated me to become more of a mentor. Because face it, most dentists were blacksmiths. We're blacksmiths and we make shoes all day long. And when we're not there making shoes, there's no money being made. So you have to hire another blacksmith to work for you. You have to teach them how to make shoes. You have to teach them how to make really good shoes so that people aren't coming back with their horses. And then you get another blacksmith so that when you're not there every day, then there's production that continues to go on. And that's how it is with the associates. You can't just hire an associate and say, okay, here, I turn you loose. Here's all my practice. You just take care of everybody. You have to mentor them, spend that time teaching them how to, with all the things that took me 34 years to learn, I can teach those to them now right away as opposed to having to wait and let them get into their own personal experience, which gives me more flexibility. It gives me more margin of time to have the opportunity to take a trip with my wife to go someplace, to make sure that I'm at the kids' graduations. I can make their weddings, and I can spend the whole week with them that week, and not just having Dad's going to cruise in. He's working up until noon today, and then right after that, he'll be there for rehearsal. Then I want to be part of it. I want to enjoy all this stuff.
Yeah, and the other thing with that goes to in changing mindset, we also have opportunities of growth for our team members, where we have team leaders that are responsible for different areas, and they make sure that their people grow, and they recommend if somebody's ready to go to the university, because you just don't send people unless they've earned it. And then we have also lots of ways that we get involved in the community, and we're teaching that not just to our team, but to our children as well. The more that you have or that you earn, the more you really need to share. And so we've really become a piece of important fabric in our community. So we do several things, including Dentistry from the Heart and Dress for Success Houston, where we assist people who are going back into the workforce on how to interview and to be fully prepared, and doing Smile scholarships and a whole bunch of other stuff that really makes us feel good. And it's great working together because there's quite a few husband and wife combinations, and not necessarily are they always healthy at business and in life. So we work very hard at trying to maintain that balance. And Scheduling Institute also stays on top of that for us too.
Yes, I believe in giving back, just like Marianne said. And it's really exciting when I hear one of my team members come in and say, I'm debt free. You know, that's something people don't get taught. People get taught how to go into debt. That's how I grew up, was going into debt. But we emphasize, and SI emphasizes how important it is to be debt free so that you're not caught up in the grind of all the time, but have some margin in it.
And last question for you both. What's the one thing that you want to really make sure your peers understand about working with Scheduling Institute and how it's impacted your practice?
You know, if I was 40 years old and I had the opportunity at 40 or 35 to get involved in the Scheduling Institute, I can see how much different my life would be right now. How much more free my thoughts, my head would be, my time, I would have more free time. I'd have more time to spend with my family, more time to focus on things that are really important in life. And giving me, and to be able to give that to someone else. That's why when I go to meetings and things, many times I'm talking to other dentists and telling about Scheduling Institute. And almost may sound like a disciple at times. I'm not a disciple. I'm not being paid for anything. But I just want to share it because this is something I wish somebody would share with me.
We're big advocates, and we are late bloomers as far as it goes with really getting on the same page. We got married later, and so having said that, with our practice and having the preconceived thoughts of how you work in a practice instead of on a practice, I think that's really the takeaway. It's definitely a smart decision.
It works. It just plain old works. If you follow the principles that they present to you and do it, it works.
Well, Dr. Landry, Marianne, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. Obviously, you've given a lot of insight into your business and into your philosophy of things, and I know it's been a learning experience for everybody. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Kevin.